Welcome to the AC 24/7 Top Story Countdown. We'll guide you through the biggest news of the day. Our focus, advocating our rights, advocating health, and advocating Earth. Here's our pick for number 4.
Thanksgiving is next week. A lot of folks have already put up holiday decoration, and that means a long season ahead to maintain them. That is why the CPSC today issued some reminders and also some pretty surprising statistics about the holidays. Dramatic demonstrations to underscore how the season of lights and wonder can bring household hazards. The Consumer Product Safety Commission releasing a new report about fires and injuries related to holiday decorating, cooking, and more.
How the unthinkable can happen in an instant. Fires involving Christmas trees and candles are far too frequent in this holiday season.
The CPSC says an average of 1,600 cooking fires take place on Thanksgiving Day, more than 3 times the daily average. CPSC says to stay close while food is on the stove or in the oven and place a turkey fryer far from the house, never on the porch or in the garage. The CPSC also reports nearly 15,000 people were treated in hospital emergency rooms last holiday season between November and January due to decorating-related injuries. More than 40% of those injuries involved falls. And a dry tree is a more flammable tree. A live Christmas tree needs plenty of water, and check for broken light bulbs and frayed wires regularly. When it comes to holiday toys,
When you're buying toys, making sure they're age appropriate, because we do see a lot of injuries associated with small parts for children.
CPSC did say their researchers observed a downward trend from 2015 to 2022 in toy-related injuries for children 14 years and younger. The agency also said that in collaboration with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, during fiscal year 2023, they have seized more than 1.1 million dangerous and illegal toys and children's products that did not meet U.S. federal safety standards. They advise consumers to take a look at the safety information on the packaging of a toy before they purchase it for a child. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
You gotta go!
100 days later, it is still nearly incomprehensible, taking in all that is lost.
You're there with the person as they're sobbing, and you see firsthand the trauma.
Maui police officers Brad Taylor and Stephen Lancidel are 2 of the heroes whose task force has investigated every single missing persons case from the Lahaina fire.
We're working towards the goal of making sure anybody who has a lost loved one, we're able to find them or give them closure.
Come on, everybody out.
But that has been elusive for the families of 4 people not seen since the paroxysm of the fire. Among those who are still missing is Robert Owens.
We learned that he used to work for NASA as an engineer. Paul Kaspritsky, he is a resident of Lahaina. He's a local artist, a boat builder, a woodworker, and he's a published author and also a father of 2. Elmer Stevens, he also frequents Lahaina. He is a father of 2, and he does find solace in the quiet pleasures of life.
The 4th still missing is Lydia Coloma.
Lydia is a Lahaina resident. She is a mother, a wife, a well-respected community member.
According to Honolulu's Civil Beat, an astounding 8 of Coloma's family members lost their lives in the Lahaina fire. This week, officers Taylor and Lancidel started new burn zone searches.
Steve and I are still going out into the rubble, into the burn zone. We'll find new information out, and we want to make sure, we want to get the rest of those people.
Officer Taylor told us he knew some of the victims.
One of the unfortunate ways I found out was we would get the DNA confirmation sheets, and I was reading through it so I could find out who it was, and I read the name, and it was from a former coworker. She used to work at the police department, and when I started my career, I worked closely with her.
And Officer Lancidel was already changed, deeply affected by devastating wildfires.
My hometown is Paradise, California. I have families and friends in Paradise that lost their homes and everything.
For now, it's been 100 days of work. Both officers remain hopeful there will be answers and eventual solace for the families of the 4 who are still missing.
When I set out to this, it was no stone unturned, no one left behind. And I am hopeful and committed and dedicated to make sure that I reach that goal.
In a command center in Cairo, Egyptian authorities working against the clock.
لسه زي ما هو انا لسه ما اتبلغتش باي حاجه اللي اتبلغت بيه ان لسه الحالات موجوده في المستشفيات ولسه ما اتسحبتش في اتجاه منفذ رفح.
Egypt's health minister on call to receive some of the most vulnerable patients. He's expecting over 30 neonatal babies to enter Egypt. New to the world, but caught in the crossfire as the IDF begins its raid inside Al-Shifa hospital.
That we're not getting them in, the incidence or the chances of losing their life is very high.
Since November 1st, injured Palestinians have crossed through the Rafah border into Egypt, the only lifeline to leave Gaza.
We dedicated 37 hospitals with more than 11,000 beds for that purpose and more than 1,700 ICU units, together with incubators for kids and other facilities for renal dialysis and so on and so forth.
Would you say that the number of injured Palestinians that are in Egypt right now are in the hundreds?
Approaching more than 200.
In an exclusive, Minister Ghaffar takes us to visit patients.
This is the champ. This is Abdurrahman.
Here at the Nasser Medical Institute in Cairo, finally safe, but haunted by what brought them here. Guilt, heartbreak, utter despair. Mohammed Wadia blames himself for his children's injuries. He says he listened to the IDF's warning and moved south from the north, only to be part of an airstrike in Khan Yunis on October 16th. He went to buy food, and when he got back, everything was gone, he tells me. His son, Abdul Rahman, just 9 years old, and fighting through 7 war injuries. His 14-year-old sister beside him. Both had shrapnel in their tiny bodies and broken bones.
For me, I'm an orthopedic consultant, orthopedic surgery consultant, and other team is plastic.
They say no physical wounds can compare to the mental scars.
Can you imagine a child? You have a child, he's scared. He should be scared from a cat, a dog, a dog. So when you find that scared from losing his family, it's really shocking.
Did you get a warning? Did someone phone you to say to evacuate?
He tells me no warning. On his knowledge of Hamas in his building, he says no. We meet the next family, and they recall this strike. 2 p.m., 31st of October, Jabalia camp. Elhad Magid was praying when her husband Rami Mahmoud went out to get food. And when he returned, his house gone. He found Elham by seeing one finger sticking out from the rubble. She survived, but 2 of her children did not. Her 15-year-old daughter called a friend before she died, predicting something would happen to her. Rami shows me a video of his son. He got a haircut 3 days before the strike. They tell me he wanted to look good if he died. For all the survivors we met, one wish binds them all: to return home to Gaza.
President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping coming together face-to-face for the first time in a year Wednesday. The high-stakes meeting taking place outside San Francisco on the sidelines of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Forum, known as APEC.
I believe they were some of the most constructive and productive discussions we've had.
Biden and Xi met for roughly 4 hours, discussing topics like pledging to restore military communication, taking steps to curb fentanyl production, and having direct lines of contact between leaders.
He and I agreed that each one of us could pick up the phone, call directly, and would be heard immediately.
Wednesday's meeting, though, comes amid rising tensions between the two nations. In the last year, there have been numerous incidents causing turmoil, like the U.S. shooting down a Chinese spy balloon that crossed over the U.S., though China denied it was spying, and concerns the Chinese government was using TikTok to spy on Americans. Xi acknowledging the country's rocky relationship.
China-U.S. relationship has never been smooth sailing over the past 50 years or more, and it always faces problems of one kind or another.
The war in Ukraine also fueling friction as China strengthens its relationship with instigator Russia and the U.S. aligns with Ukraine. The ongoing turbulence in the Middle East also a topic of discussion.
The United States will continue to compete vigorously with the PRC, but will manage that competition responsibly.
Because a lot was at stake, the meeting was carefully coordinated. It was held at an historic state in the Southern Bay Area. Everything from the flowers to the food being carefully thought out in hopes the meeting would bring reduced strain. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.